Hello everybody. Don't mind the upside down Raccoon Tycoon Deluxe box, because we just opened it up and set up everything. It's glorious. It's so fancy.
It is pretty fancy. It's nice. It's nice.
So we've played this game before, Sarah, but this is our first time with the Deluxe.
And with the Fat Cat expansion as well, yeah.
And also there are some interesting looking cards.
Yeah, so this is kind of a fun little extra. These are alternate art town and railroad cards, which you can play with if you want to. They're just like an extra little bonus. And they are all the original artwork from the prototype, the original prototype. The designer's daughter did all the artwork for his prototype, so she's done all these cute little drawings, and this is apparently what they did. This is what they used for the prototype, and she did like even the backs and everything. So they're really cute, and it's just alternative art, so you can use these instead of the regular cards from the game if you want. So that's kind of a fun little extra. We are all set up and ready to go. We've read through all the rules. There's not a ton of difference between the Fat Cat expansion and the base game. There's a little bit of differences here and there. I would say probably one of the most, one of the largest differences is that with the Fat Cat expansion, you can include 5 or 6 players, where previously you could not. Another thing is that if you want to, you can either draft these at the beginning of the game, or you can just randomly assign these player screens. And not only do these help you hide your money, which is nice because whether you're using the upgraded coins or if you're using the money that's included in the basic version of the game, previously there was no way to hide this, and you can hide it. So a lot of times you're like, you know, put it under the table and like trying to like look under the table while you played it and stuff like that. So the screens are nice. Plus each of them introduces a variable player power, which you can use usually once per game. And then on the back it has just a reminder of everything that's going on in the game. So that's another big difference. And then one of the gameplay differences is that we have these nice little player boards now. And these just sort of keep everything organized, but they also keep track of 2 different kinds of meeples, which are included in this version. And so these are animals and tycoons. And you start the game with 2 per player plus 2. So in a 2-player game, we're going to have 4 of these available. And you can purchase these by spending on your turn. You can get an animal by spending 2 wheat to get 1, or 3 luxury goods to get a tycoon. And what you do is you make the purchase in the appropriate phase of the turn, and then you actually put this guy on that space on your player board, and at the end of the game you get the number of points that you've covered up. So if I bought 1 on this turn, he'd go here. If I bought another one on a future turn, it'd go here. If I bought another one on a future turn, it'd go here. At the end of the game, I would score 9 points for having completed that number of the animals. So that works with the animals, and the tycoons are similar. And I think that's one of the other major gameplay differences that we're going to see in this version. There's also some new building tiles, which should shake things up a little bit. And other than that, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, so we'll get back to you guys mid-game and see how we're doing. Again, you're trying to have the most points, and money doesn't factor in. Well, it factors a little bit.
Every $10 is 1 point, but really that's
a lot of money for
it's a lot of money.
A point.
You should be spending the money to get stuff.
To get big bears and tycoons and, you know, stuff to you spend your money to get points. Is what you want to be doing.
So
you don't
really, you
want
want
to
to be spending a lot of your money.
unless you have that building that allows you to get
yeah,
points.
I think that's the bank, right?
I think so.
There's one building tile that says that you get extra points for the money that you have at the end of the game. But for the most part, you really want to be spending your money.
Also, there's a different first player marker.
There is. This is the Fat Cat of the Fat Cat expansion. She is representative of one of the original railroads in the game. And now they've given us an alternative art player token as well with her likeness on it. So that's fun.
Very cool. All right, well, let's get at it. But hello, viewers. We are at the luxurious Raccoon Tycoon game. And this is about a little more than halfway done. And we will...
I was kicking his butt for a while there, but I don't think I am anymore.
She let it slip how much money she had.
I did. I was so stupid. And then he took advantage of the fact that he knew how much money I had to win like 3 railroads in a row.
Hey. I did not say anything about how much money I had.
I understand. It's fully my fault. I get it.
Slip-ups will cost you. But I'm sorry. Let's look over here. How much points does that get you? Just right there.
This right here?
Yeah.
21.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, let's look. Oh, look at this. 2. Oh, 5 points. 5 points.
Aww.
Oh, boo-hoo. And then when you win, you can be like, yeah, I kicked him in the face. He was done from the start. Because you're the production queen.
I have a ton of production.
You
stuff
sneeze
going on.
and you just like all of a sudden fill a room up with luxury goods and coal. And
I've got my vineyard and my lumberyard over here, so every time I produce wood I get an additional wood. Every time I produce luxury goods I get an additional one. I've also got my cottage industry happening over here, so I produce 4 items on my turn as opposed to 3, and I have this lovely water mill, which means that I also get 2 additional items of my choice. So I'm usually looking at least 6 items per turn, possibly more if I'm getting wood or luxury goods.
Yeah.
So I am able to crank out a lot of resources. But Nick used his one-time use ability. We had luxury goods. The price was pretty high up there, and I had a whole ton of luxury goods, and I was going to sell them and make a buttload of money. And instead, Nick used his one-time ability or his like special power to jack the price all the way back down to the bottom and get $5. So I was gonna sell it, I was gonna make tons of money, and then he was like, no, but I'm slowly building back up my collection.
Oh, slowly?
here.
You just sneezed and boom, it's all back. Well, I'm over here with 1 good.
Yeah, but look at all these railroads you got.
Don't look at the railroads.
Yeah.
You don't need to be looking at the railroads.
Not sympathetic over here.
Well, we'll get back to later in the game, at the end of the game, who wins, and we'll see who gets to do the smack talking and the crying. Alright guys, we'll get back to you in a sec. Bye! Hello, Sarah. So, how did scoring go?
So scoring went, Nick beat me by 9 points.
Oh, 7.
It's 9.
It's 9, okay. Let's talk about that score pad, though, that comes with this game, real quick.
So, the score pad is pretty convoluted, in my opinion. It has everything that you'd ever score for in the game, which is awesome. But it's all laid out in these like incredibly minute portions, and I just felt like, well, that would have been helpful if we would have interacted with every single one of these things. It probably would have been useful, but we didn't. And so it just felt like it actually clouded the scoring significantly. It's fairly easy to score the base game of this. And I don't feel like so much was new in the Fat Cat expansion that it should have convoluted the scoring to this extent.
Yeah, because the game brought like a lot, not a lot, but like some new stuff, especially with the deluxe. And also just the Fat Cat. You got the screens. You got a one-time ability, and then we had the what was they called? The animals and the tycoons. So they would get you points, and also we didn't even get to touch these two because we didn't get the building didn't come out because again this was a 2-player game, so we weren't really buying too much because I feel like once it got close to the end of game or mid game, it just started to fly because you were like, well, I need to get points, and so as long as none of these buildings
and at
were
that point we'd kind of had our engine established as well. By mid game, I had my sort of engine going where I could max production on my turn at 4, and then I was getting additional luxury goods and wood anytime that I produced those. Plus I was getting additional goods from my water mill. So I had a really solid engine going by mid-game, and that really helped to sort of speed things up for me.
And I was flying by the seat of my pants. I had to pay attention to everything that you were doing because you had like an ease of getting so much product and then selling it and then getting towns. Like, it was cool. For those that know Raccoon Tycoon, towns, will cost you a certain number of a certain type, or you can just do anything for more expensive. And Sarah was able to just kind of pump that out, and so I had to be kind of like I just had to pay attention a lot and to her playing. And in a 2-player game it's easy, but if there were like even one more player, it'd just be like all over the place.
So aside from the score pad, which I don't particularly care for, everything else, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful production. Fantastic quality. Looks amazing.
Intense table presence right here. And also, we have bit bowls, glass bit bowls, and that definitely helps. It's just we spend some money on our games.
Well, and in this one
accessories.
too, so this is actually the second Kickstarter we've received in the last month or so. And we don't back a lot of Kickstarters, but it just happened to coincide that we received both of these that we had backed previously within the last few weeks. And just randomly, they both have inlaid boards, or these two-layer boards.
Yeah, that was something I brought up the second we opened it when we were off camera. And I was like, hey, look at Calico. Oops, did I throw shade?
So
Whoopsie.
The dual layer boards in Calico were a little disappointing quality-wise. That is not the case here. In fact, you can actually look at the coloration of these boards, and you can actually see that they do this coloring. I don't know if you can tell on the camera or not, but they actually made this coloring so that it looks like the background in these dual layered areas is sort of it almost looks like felt to me. This background here almost looks like it's got like this felt sort of texture to it. And it had, at first I was kind of like, these boards are kind of extra. They we don't really need this space to, keep our resources or our buildings. Previously, we just kind of set those off to the side of the board. And even this, while this was helpful, it was like, do you really need to have like a dual layer board for that? But as we played, especially because I had this nice engine going, it was really nice to have these spaces because it just helped to kind of really quickly and easily just sort of help you keep track of everything that you had going on and keep everything neat and tidy, which I always appreciate. So at first I was kind of like, do we really need to have these big boards on top of everything else in the game? But I actually came to really, really appreciate it by mid-game.
Yeah, and, not trying to totally jump on Calico's, shit, but if you've gotten your copy of Calico and you've gotten the inlaid board, it's like 2 pieces of cardboard, and then you just pick up this one, just glued together, and you pick up this one. It's 1 piece. If you can kind of,
I didn't even notice that.
It's 1 piece.
Yeah, it is.
And so but the quality is still really good just for being 1 piece. And also, I had an issue where you had the little inlaid, and in Calico it was like you could kind of almost pick at it.
There was one that's actually, it's not glued down all the way, and if you're not careful with it, it'll peel. It's going to start peeling up.
Yeah, or if you keep flicking the sides, you could accidentally tear the board. And I'm like,
and on
you
that
shouldn't
particular one, there's a lot of like sharp points where, because of the way the board is made, there's a lot of like 90-degree angles, and I feel like that lends itself even more to that when there's like that sharp edge like that, and you're constantly like setting tiles there and picking them back up and stuff like that. That is gonna give over time. So it might have just been sort of like a design flaw that is going to unravel more drastically over time. But this one you touch the inlay and you can feel the quality of it. Yeah, I just think they did a really, really nice job with the production of it. Everything here is as expected or higher quality than what I was anticipating, which I had a little bit of an idea that it would be, because previously, like I said, we already have a copy of Raccoon Tycoon, not the deluxe edition, but we already had a copy, and I was really, really, really pleased with the quality of that. So I was sort of expecting that it would be a really impressive level of quality, especially because this is the deluxe edition, and because, I just expected that it would be high quality, and it is. It thoroughly met, if not exceeded, my expectations quality-wise. And the gameplay for the expansion content, we didn't get to see all of it. Like Nick said, there were a couple of things that we didn't get to come out in this game. These two types of meeples are related to buildings, which never came out in our game. But if the buildings would have come out, we would have gotten to use these tokens as well. So even though we didn't see that, we got to see some of the new stuff, and it added just a little bit more complexity, not much more complexity, but a little bit more complexity. It seemed to sort of provide you with more options without increasing the I don't want to say complexity. What's the complexity versus
Analysis paralysis, or
I can't remember what the words are, but
it was a nice addition to the game because it wasn't as confusing or is tripping you up. They added a few things because we were like, when we were looking at
depth versus complexity.
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to say.
Definitely.
It adds some depth without increasing the complexity, which is nice.
And so seeing this, I think we got the deluxe edition for Lizard Wizard.
I don't remember. Maybe.
Yeah,
but that's also published by the same company.
And it's a similar game to Raccoon Tycoon, published by the same company. So I'm just really excited for that.
To be honest, I'm not as excited as Nick is.
I'm excited because it has some different things than Raccoon Tycoon. I think there's a dungeon, and so there's a push your luck aspect integrated in the game, and so I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to a game from this company. Like I said, their production is fantastic. They always put out incredibly high quality games, and we have had hits and misses with this company. We have this game, which we absolutely love. And we had another game that we opened it. We played not even a full game. We played half of a game, and we said we're not going to keep this in our collection. So we've had hits and misses with them, but they're always top-notch quality. And people say, not just the company, but other people also say, if you like Raccoon Tycoon, you'll like Lizard Wizard, because it's sort of there's some familiar aspects to it, but it changes things up a little bit. And I really, really do like Raccoon Tycoon, which is why I'm sort of excited about Lizard Wizard, but honestly...
But you don't want to... Yeah, I get it. You don't want to put too much stock into it.
Well, the theme didn't catch my attention at all.
Oh, so yeah, I love the fantasy theme. But I feel like it has to be unique because it's still anthropomorphic. Anthropomorphic. Wizards and stuff. So I thought, again, it was another thing that kind of interested me.
And even in that one, even though it's more of sort of a sci-fi type setting, the theme and the artwork don't catch my attention as much as they do in this one. I personally, and I've always thought this about this game, not even the deluxe version, but like just even the basic regular game. This is one of the most visually attractive board games I've ever experienced for me personally. I just really, really think that this game is beautiful. I love the artwork, the animals, and the like wearing these costumes that they're in. I just love it. I absolutely love the way that this game looks. And now that we have the deluxe edition, like that's stepped up several notches too. And Lizard Wizard, I think I'm gonna really enjoy the gameplay, but like I said, it's got a slightly more like futuristic or like sci-fi sort of look to it.
And another thing I like to point out with this deluxe or our add-on that we added is the coins.
They are so nice. So originally the game came with these paper money. Hang on, let me show you.
The paper money is still high quality. It's still good. It's still a better quality than
it's this paper money, and it's not even paper. It's like this sort of like plasticky material. So it is nice. It's high quality. But for me personally, I really, really liked the coins. It's not that much of a difference, right? Like it's this or this, right? So like they're $100 either way, whatever, right? But for me, especially because they added these player screens with the expansion, for me it was way easier to deal with coins like this than a stack of paper money like this. And because they added the screens, you could just sort of toss your coins behind your screen. And to me, it was more satisfying and it was easier physically for me to deal with the money in this format over the money format.
Yeah.
So I do really like the coins and they're beautiful. They're some of the nicest metal coin upgrades that I've ever seen for a game. So yeah, all around very, very pleased with our deluxe edition of Raccoon Tycoon. And the Fat Cat expansion was pretty fun. I can't wait to see more of it in future games.
Nice. All right. Well, that's all for today. We will catch you guys later. We have to get ready for work and the next day because we're like staying up late playing games.
It's almost Friday.
It's almost Friday. Thank God. It's almost Friday. By the time this recording, it is Thursday. But we are hoping for the weekend to come fast. All right, so we can play more games, obviously.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And I think you get a 4-day weekend this
Labor
weekend, right?
Day. Woo. All right.
Are y'all playing any fun games? Do you have any plans for Labor Day weekend? You gonna go to the beach? Are you gonna play games with family? You gonna have a cookout? Tell us what you're planning.
In the comments below. Toodles.